All right, ladies, unless we've got any gents in there as well, we're going to start with our set position for our advanced Pilates. And you want to just start with your heels underneath your hips, your hands just by your thighs, and just nice and relaxed through your shoulders. So we're going to look at lengthening our spine first of all. When you breathe in, breathe all the way up the length of the spine, right up to the crown of your head, so you're creating length in the back of your neck, and then gently tuck in the chin and draw your chin back towards your throat. So it's going to align your ear and your shoulder. Now, keeping the shoulders nice and still and drawn down to the back of the ribs, just start to rock through your pelvis. So there's just a little lift of the tailbone, so it arches your lower back. And there's that gentle tuck under with the tailbone to almost flatten your lower back. Try and gently increase that range of movement as you comfortably can. And as you tuck, really work on stretching through your lower back. As you tuck under with your tailbone, you're gently drawing the abdominals in. And the next time you come into your tuck, you're going to hold that tuck. So that's to make sure your hip bones stay facing forward and your back stays in a neutral position. Keeping the ribs down, just a little breath in to lift the shoulders up and then roll the shoulder blades back and down. So you're just simply breathing in through your nose and then breathing out through the mouth. And just aware again that your hips stay nice and still, your chin staying tucked in, and then you can add a little calf raise, so lifting both heels and then pulling the shoulder blades back and down. Again, you're breathing in through the nose as you lift and out to lower. Trying to maintain a tuck under with your tailbone, softness through the knees, and lots of length through your spine. Into your next shoulder roll, you're going to stay in set position, and we're going to move into our sways. First of all, from set position, you're just going to sway and let the weight come into the balls of your feet, keeping your tailbone tucked, and then sway back, keeping the toes down, and weight into your heels. And all you're thinking about first of all is just maintaining that alignment from your ankles up to your ears and not falling over. Then from here, we're going to come into a double arm float. So the shoulder blades are held back and down and both arms just float to shoulder height. And then they just come slightly back behind the hips. You're going to try and breathe out as you come forwards and then a breath in as you sway back. Now, a little harder is to try and do that with your eyes closed. And at this point, we are keeping the feet flat on the floor. Again, that just encourages more movement through the ankles and a lot more work through your core to maintain that really long back. A couple more here. So you're just starting to become aware of the deeper muscles you're using to maintain your posture. And then as you settle into center, we're going to stay in our set position. Into a few side bends, right hand to your head. That's your left hand, just testing. Shoulder rolls back. And as you're breathing, you're going to slide your right hand towards your knee and then bring the shoulders back above the hips. Now, keeping your tailbone tucked under and your weight even through both feet. That's going to help keep the hips still and just let the movement flow through your spine. Now, try and breathe in as you ease down and then breathe out as you come back to the center. Your left shoulder wants to be still drawn back and down in towards the back of the rib cage. And then let's take a further stretch. You can just let your left hand reach up towards the ceiling. And then coming back into your set position. Now be aware that you still have your neutral spine. So you're trying to maintain that tuck under with your tailbone. Keeping both knees relaxed and your weight even in both feet. One more time. And then from here, we're going to change sides and just find a little bit of movement in the opposite direction. So your left hand down. I'm going to put stickers apart. Roll your right shoulder back. Draw your tailbone under. And again, just a slow breath in as you ease down. And then breathe out as you rise. Now try and be aware that your hips don't slide off to your right as you bend to your left. So if you imagine that you've been literally set in cement from your hips and below, there's no movement through the legs. And you can almost imagine that you're between two panes of glass, so you're moving directly down to the side. And then you can take that reach up towards the ceiling. So it just lengthens the side of your body a little bit more and coming back into set position. Slow breath in through the nose to lower and your out breath with the lift. So your out breath is always with your effort. One more time. And then resting in the center. Just a little release through the shoulders and into tandem stance next. So you're going to bring your right foot in front of your left. So you've got your big toe touching the heel, both knees soft and back into your neutral spine. Pull up through the crown of your head and nod in with the chin. Shoulders draw down and then your arms float forward. So for rotation, just your right arm, we're going to draw the elbow back, open the arm, and then you're going to close. Stay with your right arm. Breathe in, keep breathing into open, and then breathe out to close. Now again, keep tucking under with your tailbone, so you're keeping the hips really centered and really still. If you feel your hips start to turn, then don't go as far. Just go as far as you can while you keep the hips centered, your tailbone tucked under, and your spine nice and long. 2 more. Big breath in to pull back. Pause, and then breathe out with the close. And then we're going to change over arms and legs. So your left foot comes in front of your right. And again, you want to balance your weight equally through both feet. Try and make sure your hip bones aren't pointing to the ground. So drawing the tailbone down, that engages your lower abs and gives you more stability here. Shoulder blades next, down to the back of the ribs. And a big breath in, open. And then breathe out with the close. Breath in through the nose. And then a strong breath out through your mouth. Again, think about the hips firmly fixed, facing forward. And you might find it easier to rotate on one side compared to the other. So just work within that range where you feel, don't know what I did with my arm then, where you feel you get the most movement through your spine. 2 more times. And your last one here. I've been a little bit creative today, which I'll show you next. We're going to layer up a few movements. So let's start with the movements separately, and then we're going to bring them together in a little sequence. That's my plan anyway. So we're going to start with a wide squat. So your feet are outside your shoulders and your toes are turned to a diagonal position. You're into your neutral spine, shoulder blades are back and hands just in front of your thighs. We're going to ease into our squat, keeping the upper back nice and long. Both arms to shoulder level, back to your thighs, and then rising up. You want to feel your knees track out in line with your toes. And as you glance down, you should be able to see your big toes to the inside of your knees. You're going to keep pressing the knees out so get lots of engagement to our glutes. And you're going to use lots of breath. Breathing in. Now breathe out, draw the abdominals in. Breath in as you lower the arms and out to rise. Bringing your focus to the shoulders, making sure the shoulders don't rise as the arms lift. So you want that strong connection, the shoulder blades drawing always down towards your back pockets. And that's the easy part. Let's do 2 more. Then we'll practice our lunges. Then we'll bring in some balance. And then we're going to bring it all together. And we'll get quite warm in a nice way. And rest. So we're going to come into a lunge next. So what we're going to do is just step our right leg forward and our left leg back. Hips again, square, so your headlights are forward, your tailbone is tucked. You might find that knee wants to roll in, so again, press it out towards the little toe, so it engages your outer thigh. Shoulders are set. Leading with the back knee down towards the ground, and then just sweep the arms up, back down towards your thighs, and push up through your front heel. You're breathing in, out to lift the arms, breath in to lower your arms, and out as you rise. Now you're almost trying to get your back shin and your front thigh parallel to the ground. So always leading with the back knee downwards. As the arms lift, you're trying to keep the spine really, really still. Keeping the chin nodded in. You've got a nice long stretch all the way up through the back of the neck at the same time. 2 more on this leg. Are you wondering how it's all going to come together yet? 1 more time. And then we're going to come to our left leg. So when you finish your last one, You might want to just step forward or backwards. Give your legs a little release and changing over legs. So we start with a long step, left leg. Hands on the hips. Physically turn your hips to the front and then scoot your tailbone under so your headlights are forward. Shoulders are set back. You're breathing in. Out when you're ready to lift the arms. Breath in as you lower the arms and out to rise. So a good use for our lunge is to get a stretch into the front of the hip. So at the top, just before you lower, tuck under the tailbone, and as you lower the back knee, that's where you should feel the stretch to the front of your thigh. Now still be aware of that front knee. You need to stay over the heel. And then think about the ribs. When you lift the arms, try not to let the ribs flare, so keeping a little connection to your upper abdominals and a little bit deeper then if you can. And one more time. Then I think we're ready to flow. You've got the two basic moves. We'll add in the balance as we go. So stepping your feet in. Let's come back to our wide squat position. Let's forget the arms and just work with the legs. So your toes are turned out, your heels are aligned, your tailbone's tucked, one squat in the middle. You're going to rise, pivot to your left, right, you'll get that messed up, then lower your back knee, turn to the middle, press the knees out and back into a squat. So you're pivoting on your right foot, back knee sinks to the floor, and then back into the center. You're breathing in, out with the lift, breath in to sink into your knee, and your out breath to rise. Once more to the other side, and then we can add the balance, and then we can add in the arms. So your one squat, you're going to turn into your lunge. As you lift out of your lunge, tip forward and lift your back leg. Keep the feet wide, one squat, twist, back knee down, tip forward and lift. And again, the breath in here, out to rise, breathe in to sink, and then out to push forward. Keep the knees spreading, pressing them out towards the little toes. Press down to the front heel. And then let's add in the arms. So your arms just to shoulder height. Over the head this time, keep the arms up and extend forward. Come into center and bring the arms down. Breathe into your squat, out with your lift. Breath in, arms high, and then breathe out, reach forward, land the feet wide, and bring the arms down. We're flowing. Shoulders are down. Chest is nice and high, keeping the ribs connected to the hips. Push off the front foot. Come into the center and pull the shoulder blades down. So nice long back all the way through. Even when you're in your lunge, shoulders stay above the hips. Tip. Step wide and bring both arms down. One more on each side. Missed the squat. Nearly had one squat short then. Tip forwards, lots of length in the back leg, and then arms reach up and shoulders pull down. Squat again. Don't like the squats tonight, I just want to lunge. And tip, and then step into the middle. Pull the arms down. This time we're going to stay with the leg lift. So come into your squat, turn to your right, lift the arms, and tip forward. Now hold here, breathe in, lower the arms and the leg, and then breathe out to lift. Now your standing knee is soft, your abdominals are drawn in, your shoulders are pulling back and towards the ribs, and you're trying to keep that back leg long. 3 more to the top. As you lift your leg, you're trying to keep a strong neutral spine. So you feel the back's arching, don't lift the arms as high. Hold here, bring your hands to your hips. Single leg lunge. We're going to bend the knee and press out the heel. You're reaching your foot back. You're trying to reach it an inch further back. And you can almost tap your toe on the floor and then push out the front heel as you rise. 4 more, a little further. Come up strong. Breathing deeply. 2 left. Shall we hold it at the top? 4 circles each direction, slowly with the leg. Again, drawing the tummy in, lengthening back into your toes, trying to keep the hips still, and then change 4 the other way. Tiny bit bigger if you can. 2, and your last one. And then you can rest at the top and step in. Then you do it again on the other side. So again, from here, when you turn, let's come into our lunge. Tuck under the bottom, roll the shoulders back, hands come down. Breathe in, breathe out, come forwards. So from here, the tap first. Forgot what I did on the other side. So the tap, and my mind's gone blank. We'll just stand here while I remember what I did on the other side. You're all probably shouting at me, but I can't hear you. That's what happens when you get creative. So you're going to breathe in, tap your back leg, and then breathe out with the left. Squeeze the back leg so it's nice and long. Nice bend into that front knee. Little tuck into the chin. And now when the arms come forward, don't let your ribs pull away from your hips. Try not to let the lower back arch as you're lifting your leg. If you're a little tight through your hip flexors, when you lift that leg, you'll feel the back wants to pull forward. This way you'll be really strong through your core. Keep the work in the glutes. Use the out breath on the lift. In breath as you ease down. And then your next one, hold in here. Lower, come down with a knee bend. So you're going to reach the foot back. You can add the arms as you rise, or you might want to just let the hands stay on the hips. Reaching your foot back and then pushing out the heel. Arms are just an extra option. Again, still trying to control the movement all the way through. And it's a slow movement, so we're not using momentum. We've got lots of control. Lots of work through your standing leg. You're almost there. Your next one, you're going to hold at the top. Hands can be on your hips. And just circle the leg. Reach into the toes. Once you've done 4, change direction. 4 more circles. 3, squeezing the bottom to the left. And then your last one, and step in. You might want to have a little rub your bum. Right, let's come down to the floor next for some floor work. We're going to start on our hands and our knees. So in our box position, in all 4s. We're going to stay with our right arm and our left leg, and we're going to add a few different movements again as we go. So your hands are under your shoulders, knees directly below your hips, and then roll the shoulder blades back. If your back sinks, lift the belly up, eye gaze towards the ground. Now extend your right arm and your left leg. You're going to lift. Now here, you're going to bring your elbow towards your knee and keep the back long, and then extend forward. Your supporting elbow is slightly soft. Your ears don't drop below your shoulders. So you're pushing down through the left hand to keep the stability through the shoulders. And if this is too much, you can just slide hand and foot along the ground. If you're lifting, brace your tummy nice and strong as you get to that full extension. Try and make your fingers a little longer and make your toes reach a little further. 3 more. Press down to the hand, keep the ears in line with the shoulders. Last one, hold at the top and bring the elbow wide and knee wide, and then push out. So elbow towards the ribs, and from the front it looks like this. The knee comes out. You're keeping the hips nice and still. You're breathing out to pull back and in to extend. Keep pressing into that strong arm. So lots of stability through the shoulder. Your last one, And then bring everything down. Just sit back on your heels. Walk your fingers forward. Press your hands down to the floor and try and pull your hips back towards your heels. Right, we're going to try that on the other side when you're ready. So again, hands and shoulders, hands under shoulders even. Shoulders rolling back, belly lifted, and then your left arm forward, your right leg back. Either work from the ground or work from the hip and the shoulder line. Keep the head still, breathe in, breathe out, push. See if you can make your leg a little bit longer every time you push back. Now see if you can bring your body weight forward in towards your supporting hand. And keep the elbow soft at the same time. As well as breathing, of course. In as you come to center, out as you push. Keep pressing through the hand, make sure those ears stay up in line with the shoulders. Holding your next one at the top, and then you're going to pull the elbow wide in the knee, and then back to your extension. Moving slowly. Feel like your ribs almost squeeze down towards your hips as you pull the elbow wide. Keep pressing into the hand on the ground. Drawing the belly button upwards towards the spine. You're almost there. Just one more. And then bring everything down and sit back. Stretch out the arms. And then from here, we're going to come all the way down. Just bring a little bit more work into the back. So when you're ready, bring your weight forward. Lower down to the floor. And relax everything. So we're going to start with just the arms. We're going to start with the palms up towards the ceiling. And that's going to allow your shoulders to rest down on the ground. You're going to nod in your chin. Draw your belly button up to your back. And your tailbone towards your heels. Keep the legs relaxed to begin with. Just take a breath in here. Breathe out, lift the chest, turn your palms down. And a breath in as you lower. So just want to be aware that when you lift, you're not forcing your belly back in towards the ground. And to rotate that palms downwards, you want to feel that squeeze comes from between your shoulder blades. Now this time when you lift, keep that squeeze between the shoulder blades. Bring the arms out in line with the shoulders. Bring them back to your thighs and then release. Keep the bottom relaxed. Try not to let the legs tense. And always have your neck long. So you're trying not to look forward at the screen. You're trying to keep your eye gaze down to the ground. And this time, gently pull your tailbone back to your heels just before you lift. And try and keep that sensation of your tailbone drawing to your heels as you move the arms. Let's add in the legs. We're going to lift one leg first. Arms come wide, back to the center. And release. You're breathing out with the lift. Keep breathing out to open the arms. And then a breath in and release. Now feel those shoulder blades still pulling down into the back of the ribs. Now we have 5 left. Single legs or double legs. You can lift both legs. You can reach in line with the shoulders. Or you can bring the arms forward. Bring them all the way back and release. Now try and be aware that you're still maintaining a neutral spine. It's quite easy here to end up pressing the belly in towards the mat. You're breathing out with the lift. Keep breathing out as you reach forward. Slow breath in and release. Last 2. I'm going to add on one last move at the very end. If you want to rest, take a rest. If you don't want to rest just yet, come here with me. Hold here, turn your palms in, and then scissor the arms and the legs. So lots of extension work now through the back. You're keeping your breastbone lifted. You're pushing your fingers forward, and you're pulling your toes towards the back of the room. Rest at any point if you need to rest. Keep going if you can. Last 2 each side. And then rest everything down. Bring your hands back by your ribs. Push back up. And then just slide your hips back. Tuck under your bottom to get a nice release through your lower back. You deserve a nice release through your lower back. Okay, let's come on to our backs next and come into some core work. So in your own time, just find a position on your back and come into neutral to begin with. So again, as always, we're going to layer up and add different options. I can either keep going with the added advanced movements or just stay with the level you feel that's right for you. Right, let's start with the knees above the hips. Press your knees forward, press your shoulders into the ground, and while the arms are straight, you're going to draw the belly down and press your lower back to the floor. You're going to bring then your hands to your head. Just tap your left foot and bring your elbow across to your right knee, back into the center, and then change sides. We're going to try and breathe out as you lift and twist, and a breath into lower. Now the knee stops directly above the hip. Your lower back stays pressing towards the ground. And you can always bring your elbow onto the floor and use the elbow to help you get a little bit higher if you want to. Now from there, let's take it to leg extensions. Let's take the leg out if we can. Belt harder, leg coming down to the floor. And see if you can now stay at the top and just twist from one side over to the other. Again, if you need to come down between each one, feel free to come back down. So you can come to the middle and then up and across. Or we're going to start to alternate. Elbows are staying wide. Lower back is pressing down to the ground the whole time. Can you bring the heel towards the floor and keep your back down? Breathe out with every twist. Almost there. I think another 4 on each side should just be enough for you all. I can certainly feel my belly burning. Last 2 each side. And then rest. Bring the knees in. Anchor your shoulders. Your shoulders want to stay now firmly on the ground. Legs above your hips. Option is to bend your knees and come with a little reverse crunch. A little harder. Your legs up straight. Palms down. Shoulders down to the back of the ribs. And you're going to push your feet up to the ceiling and then lower back down. Now it's a roll through the spine. When you're going to lose momentum, it's a controlled push and then a release. Now you can use the hands to help you get up a little. But as you roll back down, relax the arms. Come down as slowly as you can. A little harder is to do that with the arms over the head. So it stops you using the arms for the lift. Now keep my chin nodded in and stop the legs directly above the hips. That makes it harder to lift. Breathe out through the mouth with a push and breathe in as you ease down. Last 2. And your last one here, nice smooth roll all the way back into your start position. Legs stay above the hips. Bring your hands down. Now you're going to come up and bring your hands just behind your hips. So you don't get to do these in the class, do we? So your legs are straight. Now you're going to cycle your legs. So one knee bends. You're going to press down through the shoulders and keep the chin tucked in. And you're trying to keep the body as still as possible as you pedal the legs around. You're breathing in, breathing out to center. In to open, out as the leg comes up. Now lengthen all the way up into your toes, like you're trying to touch the ceiling. And so you can take the legs a little bit bigger. And a couple more each leg. And then with your last one here, both legs stop in the center, release your hands and roll down. Roll up into seated. No time to rest, not yet. So from here, we're going to come into our roll back. So you're going to hold your hands under your knees. You're going to tuck in the chin, take a little roll back, and then you're going to come up with your feet just hovering off the ground. Try and use your in-breath to roll back and your out-breath to come forward. Now you want to feel the curve of your spine when you roll back. So your chin tucks in and your tailbone tucks under. Now we're going to add the arms. As you come forward, throw the arms forward. Breathe in to pull back, and then breathe out, palms pressing to floor. You're trying to make sure your feet don't land on the ground or your hands. And then let's extend the legs, just one leg at a time. Your right leg, hold. Your left leg, breathe out quick. Breathe in to roll back. Out through the mouth, in through your nose. The hard bit is stopping and finding your balance. The harder bit is using two legs and coming right up on your sit bones. So you come into a full V-sit, legs are straight. And still try not to touch down. Last three. Strong out breath. 2. And 1 to finish. Hold here and scissor your legs if you can. Now lift the chest, draw the tummy in. Keep the chin tucked in. Should we add the opposite arm? Now you can lean a little bit further back if you want to. And all you're trying to do is keep the trunk of the body still while everything else moves. You've had enough, take a rest. Make it a little bigger, reach it to the ceiling, press into the fingers. 4, 3, 2, 1, rest back. Complete rest this time. You can rest your head, rest your shoulders, and just release through the knees. So you're just circling the knees around your hips. And then go the other way around. We'll do a nice hip flexor hamstring stretch at the end. You might need a little release. Okay, from here, plenty of time. Take a turn over onto your side. As we come into our sideline position, we're just going to keep both legs straight. And ideally, ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle in a line. Head rested, or you can have a cushion here and your arm forward. Now from here, we're just going to do a single leg lift with a little arch coming forward. So you're going to lift your top leg, keeping your hip away from your rib. Tap your toe on the floor so the heel points up, and then pull your heels together as if you come into ballet first position. So then you can just follow the toe line, draw an arch, and then pull back. You're breathing in. And as you come into the center, almost try and turn your toe up to the ceiling so you get even more glute work as you draw the leg back in. Now breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth to pull back. How far forward can you bring your leg while keeping it straight? And try and keep your hands light at the same time. Try to keep tension out of the neck and the shoulder. Draw the shoulder blade back. Make the arch a bit bigger. So you get a nice big stretch all the way down the back of your thigh at the same time. 2 more, I'll do nicely. Just before we move into our next one, hold the leg at the top here, bend your knee, and you're going to just bring your knee together so your knees touch, and then your toe to your knee. So you're keeping the hips still, knees touch, and then toe to knee. So all the movement comes around the hip. You can get the deeper muscles here, creating that rotation. And if you can't quite get the knee or the toe there, just move it in that direction. Now really strengthen that back leg, bottom leg even. Breathe in, point your toe up, and then breathe out to tap the toe up. Now draw the tummy in so you've got lots of stillness through the hips. And 4 more again. Breathe out with a twist. in to release. And again. And your last one. Extend your leg, scoop the knee in. This one's always nice for a stretch. So you're putting your knee to the floor. You're extending your leg and pointing right into your toes. Keeping the shoulders relaxed and ideally head here so everything stays in line. So you've got all the moves. And seeing as this is an advanced class and you've all joined in because you want to work really, really hard, we're going to do 5 of each movement. So back to your arches. So your feet start heels together with your toes turned outwards and then arch forwards and pull back. Just watch the hips. You're trying to keep those hips as still and as grounded as possible. 2 more, just a tiny bit bigger. Strong pull back. And then hold in the middle, bend your knee, knee touches, toe touches. Hips are still, so you're trying to keep the pelvis fixed. Draw the belly in to hold the pelvis there. Try and turn your toe up to the ceiling as your knee touches. Once more. And then your leg out and your last 5. In, out. You feel harder than the last time around, that's for sure. Last 2. And then close. And rub if needed. Let's have a roll over and do that on the other side. And I will remember what we did on the other side, I promise. So a little roll over. And again, as you come into that sideline position, just try and get everything nice and aligned first. So the head's rested, shoulders are relaxed, shoulder pulls back. And then you're going to squeeze both thighs. I'm going to keep my head propped, otherwise I'll cut you off with my little button in my ear, which I've discovered once or twice. So we're going to lift the leg, roll it forward so you tap your toe, and then pull back to your bottom. Breathing in to pull the leg forward and out to pull back. So again, keeping the hips as still as possible all the way through. And then trying to make the arch a little bit bigger. So again, you're trying to lose that momentum. Pause, pull back. Squeeze your bottom thigh so your leg's really, really straight. Definitely can't get my leg as far on this side, it's so much harder. And that's why Pilates is good, because it makes both sides of your body work equally. And again, your last one, as you come here, you're going to bend the knee, knees touch, and then your toe to knee. From knee to toe, toe to knee. Hips stay nice and centered. That's right, just check out that. I cut off for a second then. It's telling me that I've got 15 minutes to get to work for Pilates. I'm already there. Quite got some benefits working from home. Jump straight in a nice cold shower. So keep drawing the tummy in. Keep turning from the hip. So all those deeper muscles really having to work now. Once more. Extend your leg. Strengthen your bottom leg. And scoop the knee forward. Push then point. Breathe in. Out. Now pull the hip away from your rib. So when you're bringing the knee forward, you're trying to keep lots of space here. Bring the knee a little higher if it feels okay. And then squeeze the bottom as you shoot the leg back. In. Breathe out with the effort. And as you breathe out, you get a little brace to your core. Nice and strong all the way up into the toes. 2. Back to your first move. Heels come together. 5 arches forward, back. Breathe in, breathe out to pull back. A little bigger if you can. So again, you get more of a stretch. And once more. Knee to knee, so bend your knee, knees touch, hips stay still, and then into your toe. So again, just moving through the hip. Trying to keep the pelvis still. Abdominals drawn in. Once more. And then extend your leg and scoot forward. 5, push, 4, push, 3, 2, and your last one, and then rest. I think you deserve a few stretches. So let's give ourselves a release around our hips. What we're going to do from here is we're going to turn over onto our mat, and I want you to bring your right leg forward and almost bring your shin down to the floor. You're going to rest on the toes, top of your toes, and you're going to slide your leg back and see if you can press this knee down towards the ground. Now, if you feel your shoulders and your hips are twisted, just try and square your hips. And I want you to lift the front of your ribs right up off your hips. Roll the shoulder blades back. So if you've done body balance, you'll know this stretch. So Pat, you should know it very well. You're going to take your left hand back, take the arch of your foot, and then you're going to try and turn your shoulders to the side. So you're square again, your shoulders are above your hips. And try and slide your knee back and see if you can bring your heel in towards your bottom. Give your bottom a little squeeze so it squares the hips, but not to a point of pain. All the pain stuff's done. Just trying to find a release right down the front of your thigh. And to help get into the hips, lift your chest, lift your breastbone, and feel how that deepens your stretch. And breathe. And as you breathe out, just melt down into your hips. And then when you've had enough, you can just release your foot. Hands come under your shoulders, step back, and then bring your left foot through. So again, you're bringing it down, you're letting the hips sink, and you're trying to square this hip bone towards your heel. If you struggle to get this back leg straight, you can bend the knee and just turn into the hips like this. Now lengthen your back leg, slide your toes away. Just flex your front foot so it stabilizes your knee. Then lift the chest up and almost pull the shoulders back above the hips. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper, take your right hand back, take the inside of your foot so it keeps the shoulder open. So when you turn yourself to the side, you get a nice deep shoulder stretch as well as a quad stretch. Try not to let the shoulder roll in. Roll the shoulder blade back so you get a much deeper stretch there. Then if you want to deepen, just easing your heel in towards your bottom. Trying to turn the chest as much as you comfortably can. Breathe in. As you breathe out, maybe slide the knee further back or sink into your hips. And if it's not too painful, you've just got that nice mild stretch, the next time you breathe in, lift the ribs up right up off the hips. And then again, breathe out with your turn. Almost pulling your left shoulder back so it really opens that right shoulder too. And then you can release whenever you're ready. Turn to the front, take your legs wide. Knees can be bent if you need a little less. Or gently pressing your knees down towards the floor so it stretches the hamstrings. And try and make sure your knees and your toes point upwards. Now once you're there, hands just behind the hips. Lift your chest up and pull the shoulder blades back and down. Tip forward from your hips, but don't let your ribs drop down. You're lengthening as you hinge forward. And you're still rolling your thighs back at the same time. Then you're going to reach your right hand towards your ankle and lift your left arm. When you lift your left arm, you need to lift your ribs too, so you've got lots of space in your spine to come to a nice deep side bend. Again, if the shoulder drops forward, ease off and try and open the chest first. Then take the reach across. Make sure both your sit bones are anchored down. And then from here, to get the stretch deep into the lower back, try and reach your right hand towards your ankle and then turn into your chest more. If it feels okay, just a little turn of your head so you're looking up towards your elbow and breathing. And then relaxing down deeper. And then when you're ready, coming back to the other side. So hands come into the center, reach your left arm across, breathe in. Let your ribs lift, anchor your right hip, and then breathe out when your ribs come into your C shape. Try and relax the shoulder and relax your neck. Press your right buttock down. And to go further, stretch your left arm across first. Can you turn your head and look up to the ceiling? If not, just keep your eye gaze forward. When you feel it starts to ease, use your breath. Big breath in. And then use the out breath to go a little deeper. And then in your own time, just coming back into the center. Okay, take your feet behind. Bring your hands under your shoulders and your knees in under your hips. From here, drawing the belly up towards the back. Just tuck under the bottom and take a nice stretch through that lower back area. And then lower your tummy and let your chest come forwards. And again, just roll all the way through the spine. Try and work on tucking under with the bottom to really release here. And then reverse, chest forward. And then whenever you're ready, midway between those 2 points, tuck under your toes, roll back, and then come up. Lifting the hips first. Again, just allowing the head to hang. Drawing the belly up nice and high. And then see if you can bring your chin in and look back between your thighs. Take a nice big breath in. As you breathe out, just sinking down. And then when you're ready, keeping the chin nodded in, take a roll up through your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. And as you rise, just let the head lift and pull the shoulders back and down. And then again, breathe in, reach up to the seam, a full body stretch. And as you breathe out, just pull the shoulders back and down. Just a little bit of rotation, so your feet under your hips. Take a little turn to your right. Left hand comes onto your right hip, turn into the chest, and then to the opposite side. Keep your hips square, keep the spine long, and once more each way. Out to turn, and then into center. Little lift, and a release, and once more. And let it all go. And well done, everybody. Thank you. Give yourselves a clap. That was very hard.